The discovery. The Harmony Station's council chamber buzzed with anticipation as delegates from across the galaxy gathered for an emergency session. Holographic displays projected star maps and sensor readings, while representatives of 12 major species took their designated positions around the circular assembly hall. High Commissioner Xelton, a crystalline being from the Prism Collective, called the meeting to order. His translucent form shimmered as he spoke through the universal translator. Esteemed colleagues, we have gathered to discuss an unusual discovery in the neutral zone. Our deep space monitoring stations have detected a derelict vessel of unknown origin. The main display flickered to life, revealing a long-range scan of the mysterious ship. It appeared massive yet crude, its hull scarred by countless micrometeorite impacts and what might have been ancient battle damage. The design seemed almost primitive compared to the sleek vessels of the Galactic Alliance. Ambassador Crix of the Vorthan Empire let out a dismissive chirp, his insectoid features twisted into what passed for amusement among his kind. This rust bucket. We waste valuable time discussing space debris. My species has been traveling the stars for 10,000 cycles, and never have we seen such inferior craftsmanship. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the assembly. The Aquarian delegate's water-filled environmental suit bubbled with barely concealed mirth. Even the usually stoic mechanoids seemed to express disdain through subtle adjustments of their optical arrays. Commander Sarah Chen, humanity's representative, remained silent at her station. She studied the sensor data with practiced eyes, noting details that others might miss. The seemingly primitive hull showed signs of molecular bonding techniques that shouldn't have been possible with ancient technology. Energy readings suggested dormant systems, far more sophisticated than the exterior implied. The vessel's age is estimated at approximately 3,000 standard years, continued Commissioner Xelton. Initial scans show no active power signatures, though there are traces of an unusual energy matrix within the hull. The Zelathi ambassador waved a tentacle dismissively. 3,000 years. A mere antique. My people were conquering star systems when this heap was being welded together by whatever backward species built it. I propose we mark it as a navigation hazard and move on to more pressing matters. Chen finally spoke, her voice calm and measured. With respect, Commissioner, I believe we should investigate further. The energy signatures are unlike anything in our databases. There might be valuable historical or technological insights to gain. Ambassador Crix's compound eyes focused on the human delegate. Of course, the humans would be fascinated by such primitive technology. Your species has only been part of the Alliance for 200 years. Everything must seem wondrous when you've barely learned to lead your own star system. A few delegates chuckled at the barb, but Chen showed no reaction. She had grown accustomed to such attitudes. Humanity was still considered the newcomer, the youngest race in the Alliance. What her colleagues didn't know was that humanity had been keeping secrets. Big ones. I merely suggest caution, Chen replied evenly. The unknown often holds surprises. The debate continued for another hour. The majority favored ignoring the derelict, considering it beneath their attention. Some proposed destroying it to clear the shipping lanes. Only Chen and, surprisingly, the enigmatic ethereals advocated for investigation. Finally, Commissioner Xelton made his decision. A compromise. Then, we shall dispatch a small reconnaissance team to perform a cursory examination. Commander Chen, since you show such interest, you may lead the expedition. Take representatives from 3 other species of your choosing. Chen nodded, already knowing who she would select. The ethereals, with their sensitivity to energy patterns. The mechanoids, whose analytical capabilities were unmatched. And ironically, Ambassador Crix of the Vorthans, whose skepticism would make any discoveries more credible. As the council adjourned, Crix approached Chen's station. I hope you're prepared for disappointment, human. That floating scrap heap is nothing but a waste of resources. Chen smiled politely. Perhaps you're right, Ambassador. But I've learned that humanity's greatest discoveries often come from investigating what others overlook. 3 days later, The reconnaissance team approached the derelict in a sleek Alliance shuttle. As they drew closer, the true scale of the ancient vessel became apparent. It stretched nearly 2 kilometers in length, its dark hull absorbing scanner pings like a void in space. "Massive," whistled the ethereal representative, its gaseous form swirling with interest. "The energy patterns are unusual, familiar yet alien." The mechanoid, designated Unit 7742, processed data streams rapidly. Hull composition defies standard classification. Molecular structure suggests advanced metallurgy beyond theoretical limits for the supposed age. Crix remained unimpressed. Size means nothing. The dreadnoughts of the Second Vorthan Empire dwarfed this relic, and they were built 5,000 years ago. Chen piloted the shuttle along the vessel's length, searching for an entry point. The ship's design was utilitarian yet elegant in its simplicity. No visible weapons ports, no obvious engine nacelles, just smooth, scared metal that had survived millennia in the harsh void. There, the ethereal pointed with a wisp of energy. An airlock, still intact. The shuttle's docking collar extended, making contact with surprising ease. Ancient systems responded to the connection attempt, and after a moment, the airlock cycled open. "Atmosphere is maintaining," reported Unit 7742. "Artificial gravity functioning at 92% standard. Life support systems appear optimal." Crix's antennae twitched nervously. Impossible. No ship this old could maintain such systems without power. "And yet," Chen said quietly, sealing her helmet, "here we are." They entered the ancient vessel in formation, weapons drawn but not aimed. The corridor beyond the airlock was Spartan but clean, emergency lighting casting long shadows. No dust, no debris, as if the ship had been waiting. The ethereal floated ahead, its form pulsing with increasing agitation. "Commander Chen, the energy patterns, they're responding to our presence. The ship is awakening." Lights flickered on in sequence, leading deeper into the vessel. The team followed cautiously, Crix's earlier bravado replaced by visible unease. They passed sealed doors marked with symbols none could read, until they reached what appeared to be a central hub. The chamber was circular, dominated by a raised dais surrounded by dormant consoles. As they entered, holographic displays sprang to life, filling the air with star charts and data streams. But it was the central display that drew their attention. A slowly rotating emblem that made Chen's heart skip a beat. The symbol of Earth, ancient Earth, from an era before humanity officially possessed spaceflight. "By the Seven Suns," Crix breathed. That's impossible." Unit 7742's optical array fixed on Chen. "Commander, this configuration matches theoretical human designs from your species' pre-space era. But the technology." Chen approached the central console, her mind racing. She knew this moment would come eventually. Humanity's greatest secret, about to be revealed. She placed her hand on the scanner panel, and the ship's systems responded instantly. "Welcome, Commander," a voice spoke in perfect, unaccented English. "Terracor's deep space vessel resilience. All systems nominal. Awaiting orders." The chamber fell silent except for the hum of ancient machinery coming fully online. 3 alien faces turned to stare at the human who suddenly seemed to know more than she had let on. "Commander Chen," Crix's voice carried a mix of awe and suspicion. "What have your people been hiding?" Chen removed her helmet, meeting their gazes steadily. "The truth, Ambassador. The truth about humanity's real history among the stars." The investigation. The revelation hung in the air like a charged particle field. Ambassador Crix's compound eyes narrowed while Unit 7742's processors whirred audibly, attempting to reconcile this impossibility with known historical data. The ethereal's form flickered between colors, a clear sign of deep disturbance. "Explain yourself, Commander," Crix demanded, his earlier mockery replaced by sharp suspicion. Your species achieved faster-than-light travel only 2 centuries ago. This vessel predates your first orbital flights by millennia. Chen moved to the central console, her fingers dancing across interfaces that seemed to recognize her touch. What I'm about to show you is classified at the highest levels of human government, but circumstances demand transparency. The holographic displays shifted, showing a star map from 3,000 years ago. Familiar constellations appeared in unfamiliar positions, and territories now claimed by various alliance members showed different boundaries. Humanity's official history, the one in your databases, is incomplete. Chen began. We did achieve FTL travel 200 years ago. For the second time, the ethereal drifted closer, its essence trembling. Second time. This energy signature, it resonates with something ancient in our racial memory. Something we had forgotten. Chen nodded. 3,000 years ago, humanity had already expanded beyond Earth. We called ourselves the Terra Core, and we had colonies across what you now know as the Inner Rim. But something happened. Something that forced us to retreat, to forget, to start over. She gestured, and the display showed footage from the ship's archives. Ancient humans in uniforms moved through corridors, preparing for what looked like a desperate battle. Their faces showed determination mixed with resignation. Impossible, Crix interjected. My people have records dating back 8,000 years. There's no mention of humans anywhere. Because we made sure of that, Chen replied quietly. The enemy we faced. It threatened not just humanity, but all life in the galaxy. The Terra Core made a choice. We used our entire fleet, every ship, every station, every colony, to stop them. And then we erased ourselves from history. Unit 7742's optical array brightened. Clarification required. How does one erase an entire interstellar civilization? Chen accessed another console, bringing up technical schematics. Quantum temporal shielding. We isolated Earth behind a barrier that not only protected it but reset its technological development. Humanity forgot the stars, forgot space travel, forgot everything. We became primitives again, while the rest of the galaxy forgot we ever existed. The displays showed energy readings that made the ethereal gasp. The temporal anomaly of Sector 7G, our scientists have debated its nature for millennia. You're saying humans created it? To save everyone, Chen confirmed, including species that hadn't even achieved sentience yet. The Resilience was one of many ships tasked with holding the line while the shield was activated. Somehow, it survived, drifting in space, waiting. Crix's skepticism hadn't completely faded. Even if this fantastic tale is true, why reveal it now? Why did your government hide this from the Alliance? Before Chen could answer, alarms began blaring throughout the ship. The ancient systems detected something approaching, something that triggered long-dormant defensive protocols. Warning, the ship's AI announced. Xenoform signature detected. Classification. Priority Alpha threat. Initiating combat protocols. The main display zoomed out, showing the sector of space around them. Multiple contacts appeared on the edge of sensor range, moving with impossible speed toward inhabited Alliance systems. By the depths, the ethereal whispered. Those energy patterns, they matched the ancient nightmares. The devourers of light. Chen's face had gone pale. They're back. After 3,000 years, they've returned. Crix stepped back, his earlier arrogance completely evaporated. The Scourge, the mythical enemies from our oldest legends. They were real. Very real, Chen confirmed, moving to the tactical console. And now you understand why humanity hid the truth. We weren't ready. The galaxy wasn't ready. But the Resilience remembers. It was built to fight them. The ship's systems came fully online, revealing capabilities that defied understanding. Weapons that manipulated spacetime itself. Shields that existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Engines that could fold reality. Unit 7742 analyzed the incoming data. These technologies exceed current Alliance capabilities by several orders of magnitude. How did ancient humans develop such advanced systems? Necessity, Chen replied grimly. When facing extinction, innovation becomes survival. The Terra Core pushed the boundaries of physics, ethics, everything. We became what we needed to become. The ethereal floated to a navigation console, its form now pulsing with urgent patterns. Commander, I'm detecting similar signatures activating across the galaxy. Other derelict sites, previously thought to be natural phenomena. They're all Terra Core vessels, awakening. Chen nodded, unsurprised. The Resilience wasn't alone. The fleet was designed to go dormant, to wait. When the enemy returned, the ships would activate, calling their crews home. But the crews are long dead, Crix pointed out. The original crews, yes, but their descendants live. Every human in the Alliance carries the genetic markers. We're all children of the Terra Cores. Chen placed her hand on a biometric scanner. Ship acknowledged command authority. Commander Sarah Chen, Terra Core descendant, assuming operational control. The A's response was immediate. Command acknowledge. Welcome home, Commander. Initiating recall protocols. All systems at your disposal. Throughout human space, similar scenes were unfolding. Ancient vessels, hidden in asteroids, buried on moons, drifting in void spaces, all awakening. The descendants of Terra Core, humans who had thought themselves newcomers to the galactic stage, suddenly found themselves inheritors of a vast military legacy. Commander, the ship's AI continued. Enemy forces will reach inhabited systems in approximately 36 hours. Recommend immediate coordination with Alliance fleet assets. Chen turned to her alien companions. Ambassador Crix, this is no longer just a human concern. The Devourers threaten everyone. The Alliance needs to know the truth, and we need to work together. Crix straightened, his species' warrior instincts overcoming his shock. The Council must be informed immediately, but they'll need proof. They'll have it, Chen assured him. She accessed the communications array, preparing to broadcast on Alliance emergency frequencies. The age of secrets is over. Humanity remembers its purpose, and we're ready to stand with you all again. The ethereal drifted closer, its form now stabilized into patterns of determination. Our race remembers fragments, whispers of the time before, when beings of light stood with beings of flesh against the darkness. We stand with you again. Unit 7742's processors had finished their analysis. Tactical assessment indicates a 94.7% probability of total galactic extinction without Terra Core technology and tactical expertise. Cooperation is not merely advisable. It is essential for survival. As Chen began her transmission to the Alliance Council, she reflected on the irony. Humanity had been mocked for its primitive nature, dismissed as newcomers to the galactic stage. Now the survival of that same galaxy depended on secrets humanity had kept for 3 millennia. The Resilience's tactical displays showed the approaching storm. The Devourers were coming, just as they had ages ago. But this time, humanity wouldn't stand alone. This time, the galaxy would unite, with the children of Terra Core leading the way. In the depths of space, more ancient ships stirred to life. The shield around Earth finally fell, revealing installations and defenses that had waited 3,000 years. Humanity's true history stood revealed, and with it, perhaps, the galaxy's salvation. The time for mockery had passed. The time for unity had begun. And at the heart of it all, an ancient warship that had been dismissed as a relic prepared to show the galaxy why humanity had once been feared across the stars. The investigation was over. The war was about to begin.